Peace. Science job. What was the question you was just asking me? You just asked me something, right? About oh yeah, you was asking me something about the question from the day. But you understand the calculation I was making? Peace, King Supreme. Mr. Gree One. Peace. Sincere born Asiatic. Peace, God. Your picture look familiar. Mm-hmm. Alright. That's peace. So yeah, I was looking at the what's the name, and I saw the special report that cats went and started some smoke or something last night, man. See, I'm in New York. New York is like the face of America. So people want to punch you, they want to punch you in the face. Gotta stay away from downtown right now. R.P. Reese. Science. Y'all caught that though? Infinite mind, peace, God. God Cipher Divine. What was the question you was just asking me, God Cipher Divine? Oh yeah, it was something I wanted to ask you. Does your power degree in the 1 to 10, does it say land and water? Gotta get to the fast connection. Yeah, where you got those lessons from? Those are the Muslim ones. Luke Cage, peace. DC in the building. Where you got those from, off the internet? Ja King, peace to the God. Yeah. I think those two things. You got the 1 to 14, God Cipher Divine? Alright. Living according to Allah's mathematics. Daily. But did anybody catch that news about the Middle East though? divine reality, peace. So in the 1 to 14, right? Does your God degree say, why is the devil call our people Africans? Yeah, man, that's some science right there. See, that area has always been useful land. That area has always been useful land for a lot. That was the crossroads of the world before they had ships and all of that. Everything had to go through that area right there. Supreme justice. What's the signs, God? Peace. Got DMV. We got DMV in here strong tonight. God Cipher Divine, does your God degree say, why does the devil call our people Africans? Yeah, you got a whole Muslim set of lessons. That's supposed to be the other way around. See, I know the Muslim lessons. I already know the difference. That's why I could go right to just ask you. You see what I'm saying? Why is you? Yeah, I'm building Supreme. I'm building, man. I was just talking about when you're dealing with the science of useful land. You know, ever since World War I, the objective has been the control over there. You know what I'm saying? When they wanted to get the Ottoman Empire out, because the Ottoman Empire, once they conquered the Byzantines in 1453, and they took over what's Istanbul now, it was Constantinople, the capital of the Roman Empire. Then from there, they started conquering further into Europe. So that was one of the things they did. You know what I'm saying? When you say how much is used by the original man and how much is used by the colored man, at that time of the Ottoman Empire, all that was being used by the original man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the people that they installed in there after World War I, these people was kind of puppets for them. So then you get a handful of dudes now that come to power, you know, that, you know, I'm not saying I'm on their side or not on their side, but I'm just talking about in terms of people that it's like, okay, they not going to allow their territory to be useful land. Now you see what happens. See, when they start going to war like that, see, that's the real signs of the 10th degree and the 1 to 14. God body mathematics, Joe Grievous, peace. You see what I'm saying? That was during the time from, you know, Muhammad, he returned in 632. But then they continued conquering from 700 to like 1700. The Muslims and the Christians was back and forth like this, fighting all the time. And when they was fighting like that, those were the type of rules they was employing against each other. They do things like chop heads off and put them on stakes, and then put them on the road, so any conquering army, they would see that the last army that came through, what happened to them. They was doing that on both sides. Like the story of Count Dracula, that's, a little bit far-fetched, but I'm saying that's from a real guy. You know what I'm saying? Who was, he really was a prince in Transylvania, and he was one of the best warriors on the Christian side. And that was Vlad the Impaler. And that was what he would do. He would impale the Muslims and put them up on stakes the same way, because they back and forth like this all the time. So now you see that happening again right now. Yeah, I'm halfway watching it. It's like my first real, I ain't really into it. Like if the Knicks ain't winning, I can't really focus. So of course I haven't really watched in a couple seasons. I watched the like when you get down to the nitty gritty. Type in whose name. Who, Vlad the Impaler? D. Stewart, peace. But see, that's when you're dealing with the 10th degree and the 1 to 14, when they actually going to war with each other like this, and they take it to the physical degree. But like I said, man, I'm on point, because everybody's in New York. Everybody's in New York, so it's wide open here, man. You never know what can happen. All right, you gonna stop taking shots at my Knicks, man? I know what's wrong with you. You're on the rise right now. That's Knicks with a capital K. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But they battling back and forth over there right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it don't come over here. How y'all drew that up? Knicks ain't been hot since Ewing. Nah, man, when we had the trial, we was nice, man. The Nets, nah, they New Jersey. They not gonna win. Brooklyn should have got a whole brand new team, man. Nets. Never should have got rid of Dr. J. Indy Red. Peace. Indy Red said they still after the gold, oil, and drugs. Yeah, see, that's a certain science. That's a certain science. The first, the first thing they was doing in that area, you know what I'm saying, it was always goods coming through there. But before, the goods was coming from all over the world, because You know, one thing about that area that they call in the Middle East, right? It's right between what they call Asia, Africa, and Europe. You understand what I'm saying? So all the goods could go through there. But then it was a dude from Portugal. He was the first dude to go around. He was the first dude to go around South Africa and then go up into India. And that was one of the things that started cutting off the Muslims from their, you know, lucrative trade and everything. You know what I'm saying? But see, now it's useful land for totally other reasons. Like the brother's saying right here, gold, oil, and drugs. Infinite mindset. Oil prices went up as a result of the attack. Yeah, see, all of that's a part of the, game. See, high prices, that's just for big bank to take little bank with stuff like that. They need some loot to keep things floating for a minute. You know what I'm saying? They'll make a move like that. But then that brings you back to the question, right? You know, what is, like when you know, when we say that, you know, we here, you know, we work with the government wherever we at. Not work with them in the sense of we assisting them. But I'm saying we not there to go against them. You know what I mean? Like when a brother say, you know, do this nation have land? Yeah, my land is the planet Earth. Wherever I'm at, I'm going to show and prove that I'm God. I'm going to do what I do. You understand what I'm saying? Forever Allah, peace, Cortland Powell. You know what I'm saying? Wherever I'm at, I'm going to do what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not there to make war. I'm there to make peace. You know, if somebody attack me, then yeah, I'm going to deal with self-defense. But I'm not there to be attacking no people. You understand what I'm saying? That's not what we do. We not here to say, yo, we're going to conquer this land over here in the name of, you know, the 5%. Like we're going to go over there with weapons and conquer some land or something. We're going to go over there and build and show and prove that we civilized. Rashid Powell, peace. You know what I'm saying? That's what this type of adversarial relationship, it's like with everything that happened, right, in the past. Do brothers ever, like a lot of times, people look at what happened in the 60s, let's say, right, with the civil rights movement and all the different brothers, and everybody analyzed the mistakes, right? But then, what did you really learn from the mistakes? When you go right back and apply all the same things over that failed. God, you see Allah, peace. Like, what is the lessons of that? Like, we already seen what the non-violent route get, right? And we seen what the militant route get. They basically get the same thing. They both made some progress now. Let's not knock them. But I'm just saying that we got to look at the application of what they did. You know what I'm saying? And then look at the whole history of the original man. You know what I'm saying? Take it back to the Reconstruction era. And look how the brothers applied themselves at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lesson of the lessons. That in those degrees it tell you about certain histories. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be able to look at maybe some history that's not written about in that lesson and still apply mathematics to that. You see what I'm saying? And then you know how the nation built. But when you go out there, like when the brother asked me what's the difference between an organization and a nation, you know what I mean? Or, you got different people saying, yo, we need all of this stuff and all of that stuff. No, we don't. Because, see, one thing you got to remember, right? You could form a government, right? Now, look, the people could change their government. But the government can't change their people. Like, America can't bring 300 million other people over here and they say they're Americans now. Or the French can't bring 300 million people over here, or to France rather, or whatever the population of France is, and then those people is going to have the history and the culture of the traditional French people. See what I'm saying? Like when they had, the revolution in any country, when any country have a revolution, right? They change the government, but the people still have the same history, culture, and all the things that make them a nation. That's why we don't have to do that. That's not the common thing. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, let's say you taking France, right? That's the common thing is people who have a long history and background in that geographical location. That's not our common thing. Our common thing is the knowledge, man. Our common thing is the mindset of knowing that we God. You understand what I'm saying? In the earth. And once you got that mindset, right, and you already know that the earth belongs to you, right? See, all that stuff they talking, that's the poor part. Like if they just draw, like if you driving from one state to the next state and you cross the line, I mean, yeah, you excited or whatever, because you got it built up in your mind that you getting closer to where you going. But in terms of that line, that don't really mean nothing. It's only a concept. It's only a concept in our mind. Like if you don't know where the line is, you'll wander all over it. He said the wilderness of North America was not built for original people to prosper. See, what you mean is the corporate interests, because you gotta remember from the very beginning, right? From the very beginning, the people who got the charters to make the colonies, right? That was for them to extract wealth from the land, and they in business with the king. So those was always businesses. The Dutch East India Company, the British India Company, the British East India Company. So from the very beginning, it was always business interests. You understand what I'm saying? But that, you can't mistake that for the actual land here in North America. because it was original people prospering here before they came. See, this is just a form of government they're using right now. 1,000 years ago, they wasn't using this one. 1,000 years before that, they wasn't using the one they was using then. So how much you gonna invest in being involved with that, other than, you just making a trading post with them? You just making a trading post with them to do, transact, whatever business, whether it's political, whether it's, private, economic interest, whatever. That's what you're doing, making certain trading posts with that. So, all right, we know we here in the wilderness of North America, right? So we got to do a certain amount of trading with them. You understand what I'm saying? But everything comes down to how civilized you are. Because remember, just like I said with the Born Wise piece, God, just like I said with the masonry, right? There's nothing there. Hey, look, my grandmother was a worthy matron. Like, she was the head of her Eastern Star Lodge, Queen Esther, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? I've been around. They ain't got no, unless they that good at keeping the secret. Anybody they got a secret, yeah, they got an advantage. That's that's clear. That's all right. They got an advantage. But the only advantage is that, you know what I'm saying? It's like if a 5-year-old kid, if you don't know they getting ready to hit you, then yeah, they're gonna hit you. But the only thing that they had is the element of surprise. But it's not like they gonna, they level of skill or they level of strength or they level of athleticism is gonna overpower you. It was only the element of surprise. So it's the same thing with masonry. It's only the element of surprise, man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of devilishment is that way too. It's only the element of you searching for trillions of years for that does not exist. I'm talking about in the everyday. Right now, I'm saying, when you're not understanding what the power is, when they say slave of a mental death and power, if you're not understanding what that is, right, then yeah, you susceptible because remember, they was always allowed in first. If you notice in every history with them, they was allowed in. They came to Africa, they built trading posts with them. They came to America, they built trading posts with them. They came over here, one tribe thought they was God. Until they showed they wasn't civilized. Godbody Mathematics said, I was doing some research on the term India in today's degree. I found that they didn't even originally call it that. It was called Sindhu, essentially meaning the same thing. But see, you gotta remember, a lot of the a lot of the modern day names that we got for things, right? They like bastardized English mispronunciations. So there's a lot of words that you would see that is is similar to the word that they use, but the British couldn't pronounce it. Like for instance, if you know how you hear people from New York, a lot of times we say D's and those. That's a historical thing that goes back to the Dutch. When they was trying to learn English, they don't have the TH sound in that language. So they always said D's and those. Seeking to master the languages. You see, they use language in the same way that, they use religion. Where they use it to master the people and get all the people on the same page. See, that was the it's kind of the reverse of when you looking at the Tower of Babel, where they look at the lesson of that and they know that the ruler can't command. You had the ruler who wanted to build the tower all the way to heaven. So, they gotta do the same thing. They want to attempt to rise above their limitation. They gotta subjugate enough people to do that. They gotta subjugate enough people to do that. You know what I'm saying? Language is one of the ways they do that. Whenever they come to the place, whenever they come to whatever place they're going to start colonizing, they always make the people go to their schools and teach them their language and ban whatever's the native language. Right, the boundaries and borders of today are not the same ones of yesterday. So that's what I'm saying. We not the people that get caught up in all that stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Like you gotta build yourself up before you even attempt to do that. You gotta build yourself up before you even attempt to do that, man. So when it said that Africa was named after Scipio Africanus when it was originally called West Asia, is that actual fact? Well, West Asia is Europe. But Elijah Muhammad is saying the whole planet is Asia when he's speaking in that degree. He's not, you know what I'm saying? He's not talking about the continents the way we know them right now. Because even the way we know them right now they don't really fit. Is not really a solid definition of what a continent is. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, you know, technically speaking, Europe and Asia should be one continent. Really, to tell the truth, you know, and depending on how you define it, it's only two continents. You got this whole North America, South America, and then everything over there is connected too, because all of the separation is man-made. The what you call that? The Panama Canal and the Suez Canal is both man-made. You know what I'm saying? Now, who Africa is named after? That's actually disputed. They got a couple of different stories that I heard about that. So I don't know, but that's definitely one of them. Yeah, now look, that's a good example you use right there. Now look, Infinite Mind said, I can say the same for the Mongol Empire under the Khans or the Muslim conquest. Now look, the Mongol Empire, they conquered the Muslims, but then the Muslims taught them. Yeah. That's how the Muslims took back over. You know what I'm saying? They never really expelled them. They just taught them. So they became a part of the empire. Cortland Powell, it should be Suez Canal. See, Suez, when you turn it backwards, it spells Zeus. I'm not exactly sure they planned it that way, but Suez, where they split the part of the land where the original man is at, when you spell it backwards, it spells Zeus. God Cipher Divine said Africa had many names. Before they were separated, it was all Ethiopia. I don't know. Yeah, but those, like when like, you gotta remember, this is another thing, right? Africa is so big, right? That I'm saying, I don't know if everybody there was aware that they was a part. You know what I'm saying? It's like right now, you in America, even if you do a lot of traveling, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you know, do you really, can you really, you know, like, look, before the internet, right? Before hip hop really got big like that, right? You know, I didn't know what was going on in California. Like, I used to hear things, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, you had colors that scratched the surface or something, but you didn't really know what was going on until really kind of hip hop came out. And then I started really knowing a little bit more about other parts, you know what I'm saying? So, if you somewhere, you know what I'm saying, and you spending your time living your life, do you really even realize that you are part of a whole thing like that? You understand what I'm saying? Especially when, you know, you the only people that you know. Like, you don't know, right, that there's other people to really, you know what I mean? The only time for you to give something a name is when there's other things that you got to separate it from. So now that you got to distinguish, it has to have its own name. See, like, there was no reason for black people to walk around calling each other black. So really, for the most part, to this day, if the people that I've met from Africa, they tell you what their country is. If you ask them, where you from, they'll say Senegal or, Ethiopia, Eritrea, whatever. They'll just tell you the country. That's a book, Black Arabia or African Presence in. I seen that book, African Presence in Early Asia. Who wrote those books? Who's the author of those books, Black Arabia and African Presence in Early Asia? Yeah, right, calling power they give their tribe. You gotta read Ivan Van Sertima. And he's real. A lot of his books is just focused on the original man and how everything had its origin with the original man. Oh, Ivan Van Sertima is a part of those books you talking about? Who's Wesley? Oh man. See how this goes. Yeah, I like Ivan Van Sertima. I like Blacks in Science. Who read that book? Yeah, They Came Before Columbus is another good one. Who read that book? How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. I think it's Walter Rodney. African Presence in Early Asia is a compilation of writings and articles from Afrocentric scholars edited by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima and Runoku Rashidi. All right. Yeah, that sounds good right there. I saw it, but I never read it. The Anacalypsis, by Godfrey Higgins, gives a thorough breakdown of the Ethiopian expansion from North Africa to India. All right. Oh, Wesley Muhammad wrote Black Arabia? So they talk about like the Dravidian tribe and all of that in that Anacalypsis book? Dr. Bandu's thing. Who read the book How Europe Underdeveloped Africa? If none of y'all read it, the one thing about that book I always remember, right, is that was the first book that I read that mentioned John Harding Hawkins and the events of the 1 in 36 and how he got the what they call it, the shield, the coat of arms. That was the first book that I read about him in. But then later on, I read different things. He's Francis Drake's cousin. Prehistoric Nations, or Inquiries Concerning Some of the Great Peoples and Civilizations of Antiquity, by John D. Baldwin. Peace, Supreme Justice. Catch you tomorrow. Peace. Oh, Infinite Mind, you got a degree in Africana Studies. Man, you need to give us a list. You need to make a reading list. So brothers that wanna go into science, man. Yeah, but somehow I don't know how to save this. A lot of times people ask me about different books. Yeah, but what's going on out there, man? Anybody else had any questions? Where you got those lessons from, God Cipher Divine? Oh yeah, say cool. What say cool sells books. Say cool is the bookstore. Say cool is the bookstore. 793rd piece. So I know he got books. Say cool read hieroglyphics and all that kind of stuff, man. They say cool can read it itself. You gotta get it from the copy of the list with everything with pork in it, you got to get it from Strictly High Grade. I think Strictly is Indie Red still in the room? I think Strictly High Grade gave it to Indie Red already. If one of them is in the room, you can get it from them. You know, I gotta work with one of the brothers. Yeah, see, when you got them off of the internet, you got the Muslim ones. God Cypher Divine. See, that's the risk. That's why we tell you guys don't get it off the internet. God said my degree never came close to my learning from the gods. Divine Ruler read hieroglyphics too. Melchizedek got lessons on the internet too. Melchizedek, he always selling something, man. All right. So Al-Kam Salam said the book about Ethiopia impacting India says that the author builds on the connection between cultures, languages, identical pantheons throughout these regions, proving the Dravidian and the so-called African are the same. You know, I had did a post on that. I wish I would have known the title to that book when I did that post. I would have recommended it. Sounds good though. Rashidi did extensive work in tracing people in current day Asia are originally of African descent. Which people? Because you know they got those people. You know about those Andaman Island people, and like the people that's in the like Papua New Guinea. Those are some other original people that they said they don't even fit in their migration. Like they don't, like according to whatever scientific theory they use, and this is how I'm trying to understand what they said. You know what I mean? But they saying that only 2 strains of DNA left Africa and became all the other people on the planet. But they saying that those people in the Andaman Islands, that their DNA is older than those 2 strands of DNA that left. So they saying that somehow they migrated out of there before, you know, the Aborigines in Australia, all of them is a part of that. You talking about those people, or you talking about like Japanese people? Not the what they call them, the Aiko people, not them. Bonwa said, who is the author of the Great Understanding? Who's Supreme Shabazz? Somebody asked if Supreme Shabazz's lessons is right and exact. Infinite Mind said African is a misnomer. Body Mathematics said you can find the Muslim lessons on the FBI site where they raided the temples. I mean, I know the FBI got it, but that they got it on their site, that's loose. $7.93 said it's also posted on the community page for the school. All the products with pork in them. Mad toothpaste were difficult to actually find in the store and trying to find the proper multivitamin. Oh, wait a minute. The Great Understanding is a book that Melchizedek wrote? What is Cortland Powell said Melchizedek, and Al-Kim Salam said the book, The Great Understanding. What happened there? Oh, Melchizedek Supreme Shabazz. I'm saying, man. Man, look. When I see Melchizedek, man, a lot of times he got the Muslim flag on, man. Oh, the book is the Supreme Understanding. Melchizedek got to stop trying to sell everything all the time, though, man. But he definitely, man, Melchizedek about 85, 90 years old, man. He got a lot of history. You know what I'm saying? You know, before you just condemn the old, at least get that history from them. At least stick around them long enough to do that. No matter how messed up they are, they got their history, man. That's why I learned to walk with all walks of life. You might see me with all kinds of people. And he's still walking around. The book Supreme Understanding is by Abdul Noor. Not I mean, yeah, that's why I say that, but that's not necessarily. There's brothers in the nation that got what? That you do need to just listen. Just get the will you rest at God Cypher Devon? Brother said, brother started trying to take a lot of titles recently. See, but you gotta remember that's like a older generation. That's how they think. You see what I'm saying? Once a certain amount of knowledge was available, yeah, you from the desert? What part of the desert? You know, once a certain amount of knowledge is exposed, you know what I'm saying, then you can't really you know, not, or you can't oppress people mentally. You know what I'm saying? If they got the knowledge, you know, you can still, you know, take advantage of them physically, but you can't, you know, like with all things, you know what I'm saying? Like the more the more knowledge comes to light through science, right? The less people are attracted to religion just in general. You know what I'm saying? You in Jamaica, man? There's plenty of guys out there. You don't know the guys out there in the desert? Yeah, I see what you're saying. You know, it's based on a concept, but I'm saying that idea of that type of structure. You know what I'm saying? It's just with like voting. You know what I'm saying? Like leaders just realize that the people got too much knowledge. Like they know too much what's going on, and they got too much freedom. Like I gotta find a way to let them feel like they involved with what's going on. So they came out with this new kind of thing where you voting. You know, that type of structure, you're gonna see an older generation that's more in tune with that. Like even look at the younger generation. Like they on some crowd stuff. Like we all on Twitter working together. Everybody's informing everybody. They don't have a top down structure. They not good at that. You see what I'm saying? Because they all got too much knowledge. Like that was one of the things that happened with what's that thing they Occupy Wall Street. Is they don't respond to that type of top down structure no more like the older generation did. All right, y'all ain't doing something right. What kind of brothers you come in tune with? You said the degrees never really came up when y'all was building. Al-Kim Salam said, what is the science of the beast in the wisdom build degree? Does it cross-reference to the second degree in the 1 and 14? Um, yeah, that's an interesting concept right there that you hit on though. That's an interesting concept right there that you hit on. See, because the beast, right? In the wisdom build degree, he's the one that he destroys the understanding. And the person who's, in particular, the knowledge seed understanding. And the person who's a savage is somebody who's lost all knowledge of himself and is living a beast life. So he don't have no understanding. See, that's like a thing, it's one of them things that clarify. It's one of them things that clarify. Luke K said a couple of lives ago, you talked about the Indians who were exiled from India 16,000 years ago. What was the name of that tribe? Yeah, that's the Dravidian tribe that the brother was talking about a while back when we was mentioning books to read. Hold up. Let's see if I see it. The Anacalypsis by Godfrey Higgins. The Anacalypsis by Godfrey Higgins. That's a book about the Dravidian tribe, and the brother was saying that in the book they actually go through all of the like elements of the people in the culture. The people in the culture of Ethiopia and India, and showing and proving that they the same people with the same origin. But that's the Dravidian tribe. Dravidian. Who is Rashim Selah? Anyone have knowledge of this brother? Where you from? I know a couple of Rashims, but I don't know particularly if it's that one. What's your perspective of making a difference between I'm not holy, I'm righteous? Well, see, once you eat food, you're not. That's not holy. You understand what I'm saying? Like, holy, this is something that, this can't really exist out in the physical. God, I see him, peace. Holy is not really something that can exist in the physical. You understand what I'm saying? You could say an idea hasn't been mixed and tampered with. But if you eat food and you breathe air, unless you're saying all the food you eat and then all the air you breathing is holy too. But I'm saying that, when you physically birthed, right? Physically, right? At that moment right there, you might could say, all right, everything that's there is a part of your natural existence. All that amniotic fluid, but I'm saying, once somebody touch you and all they germs flood onto you, I'm saying that's the definition of holy. I know I'm being very technical about that. You understand what I mean? But now, let's take that all the way to the way of actions. Let's take that all the way to the way of actions. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, it's certain things that we doing, right? Especially if we in America, right? It's certain things that we doing that somebody in the world gotta suffer. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people in the world had to be oppressed so that we can have electronics. Like, they got to be oppressed in their country so that some corporation could go over there, take their resources, not give them nothing for it, so they could bring them to China, and then China can make whatever is electronic stuff, and then we could buy it, at the 99-cent store at, Apple, wherever. You know what I'm saying? Al-Kim Salam said the tribe exiled from India were called the Yavanis. They were exiled from India for worshiping feminine energy called Unijas or Yoni. Page 343, chapter 3, Anacalypsis. Yeah, I definitely gotta read this now. That's some high signs. That's the Yavanis. Gotta run out and get that book. From a biblical standpoint, holy just means to separate. Yeah, that you separate, like Jesus is separate from the rest of humanity. Nah, it ain't even striving to be righteous. We righteous. You gotta remember, man, you weighing everything on the scale. See, part of righteousness is positive elevation, always correct errors. That's a part of righteous. Like, if a person step on your foot and they say, pardon me, that's righteous. So all that striving to be righteous, just be righteous, man. See, because then that'll end up being an excuse to do negativity. Oh, I'm not righteous, I'm striving to be righteous. Which might be the question that you asking about the difference between holy and righteous, but I'm saying that, just be righteous, man. Process says, I'm waiting to hear the signs of, I have a righteous name. An attribute that's from the 99 attributes of Allah. You know what I'm saying? See, divine is my mindset. You understand what I'm saying? Which is Allah. And that rule over the body. It makes me the king because I master all things around me. Be means to exist. Allah is God. And Christ is the crusher. Is that still got some questions about that? The Crusher. Do I have family in heard or heard truth known or Allah's true land? Houston, Texas, or Atlanta? If you know True Born Myla, it advise you that once you come in the name of Allah, you have a righteous name, and the name your parents gave you is your honorable name. Exactly. Not attributes and not government name. Message to the Black Man talks about the crusher. Yeah, Message to the Black Man, you gotta check that out too. Don't. You know, I seen some type of cartoon characters. There's some type of cartoon characters on the internet called the Darkims. Just one piece. But when you Google them now, I'm over them. But that was the first time I ever encountered that word in any other language. Other than that, I never heard in like another language with that name. It's the signs. Just what you up to. Cortland Powell, you say you don't know. True Born My Lord, he actually be in both of those places. Like, I'm not exactly sure when and where he move around, but he definitely in those areas, and he definitely a teacher. But there's other brothers down there. I don't know if he's in Houston though. There's another brother, Allah Mathematics. He's from around my way, and he moved down there to Texas a while ago. Oh yeah, we've been going in today, man. We was naming a whole bunch of books. The brother hit me with a book. I gotta go read. I gotta go in He hit me with something. I gotta go study now, man. A book called what do you call it? The Anacalypsis. The Anacalypsis. the anacalypsis. It's about the tribe that left from Africa that went to India, and then the tribe that was exiled from India 16,000 years ago. He said that in that book. You get some information on that. So yeah, I'm about to check that out myself. Go to the library. My daughter, she got a library card. Darkim. Yeah, it was. Well, see, now listen. That was one of the things I was saying, is that when I sat down with all those letters, right? I had heard of people named Darkim, and I heard of people named Shakim, but I never heard of a Darkim. So it was unique enough for me, right? But at the same time, it wasn't something that, people was gonna look at me crazy, like, yo, what does that mean? What kind of name is that? I wasn't the first Darkim in the nation, though, but it wasn't nobody around my way had that name. Well, just one said, why I put Christ behind the law. You mean in terms of my name, or why I put the law first? What's on Message to the Black Man, page 289? Crush your negativity. Guy right here said, just in terms of the name, I mean, the law came, for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was already Darkim Be Allah for years, you know what I'm saying? And so that was the place to add it on, Plus, you got, my name is Darkim, right? So from the dark came the light. But it wasn't like a major decision. Like I said, when it was time to add on, I added it on to the end. It wasn't like I changed my name because I couldn't live out the one I had. It was like say like right now, right? When Father's Day comes, I don't have any like my father, my grandfathers, you know what I'm saying? And it had come to that point in my life where I had to be the light now. So that was, in particular what was going on with me while I added that on. Blair and Snotty, John Carter. What's going on with y'all? Yeah, God Cypher Divine, you gotta come to the rally or something, man. If you come to the rally, it'll be brothers there that's closer to your area. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers come out from Far Rock all over. And then you could come in tune with somebody that'll really build with you. Cause that's another thing I don't condone, man. The way how now y'all be getting the lessons, the whole 120. I don't condone that. That's why, it being on the internet and all that, because, it's devalued with all the rest of the things. Just like back in the days, that was, I had to know my phone number to my house just to go outside. Like, you got to know if something happened, you need to know the number, so and you need to know, your grandmother's number, your uncle's number. All right, you know enough numbers, so in case if somebody's not home, you'll be all right. But see, now that you put it in the phone, you save the name, and then you never even see the number again, because whenever you dial it or they dial you, just the name come up. They do that on purpose. They do that on purpose to make your brain atrophy. You see what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with 120. If you got it like that in the paper, then you thinking, oh yeah, I got it on the paper. Or if it's on the internet, it's the same thing, like you Wikipedia the lessons. You see what I mean? And then how you gonna cross-reference, like the brother brought up, the beast and the wisdom build degree in the 140, the beast, and then how you gonna bring that up unless you know the whole thing on cap? You understand what I'm saying? Knowledge, math, peace. God body mathematics say, yeah, that's what I was taught. Things that you hold with high esteem don't come easy. I stayed in the math for a while. Yeah, see, look, when I was getting it, 120 lessons was like, like when you see dudes, like it be knights or something, or some type of people, and they be on the quest looking for the elixir of life. That's how it used to be, man. Getting the lessons. Like when you went to get your lessons, there's a whole bunch of other brothers there. Everybody's there to get their degrees. You understand what I'm saying? But see, now, it's just, Pa said, I'm just glad I got it now. Hey, man. All that matters is that you got it. Yeah, that's how, Blair and Snotty said Holy Grail. Yeah, that's how it was to get the lessons. Like, it was, in other things too, man. Like, it was a brother, look, I used to be with him every day. Like, we used to maintain every single day. And he had the tape of Allah speaking, he wouldn't let me hear it. It's like, nah, man, you might not understand it, man. You might misunderstand it. I'm like, how you understand it if yeah. Everything, or even certain information. See, people get on the internet now, right, and put all kinds of business on there. That, listen, I had the knowledge 15, 20 years before I knew what happened with that. Now it's just willy-nilly on the internet. Yeah. Because a lot of things, that's not really nation history. That's just people personal business. That's just people personal business, man. You know what I'm saying? Even with a lot of things that was said, you know, there's some things that Allah say. He said, look, go tell everybody that this how it is. And there's some things that was said to that person. And then they tried to make it seem like it was said to everybody. Yeah, Sunyas, yeah. I remember when Sunyas started up the class. He gave you a very important piece of advice. And when you decide to study 120, warp from knowledge to Pluto with one educator so that you aren't all over the place. But you know, that's all sometimes that's just the nature of it, man. Like sometimes, you know, you get taught by Elijah Muhammad. Where Elijah Muhammad, you know, he existed to be like 70 something, right? How old was that? Like 75? You understand what I'm saying? And then sometimes it's like a law where, like, you know, what if you got the knowledge in May 69? You can't just stop because, you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta just go from the kindergarten teacher to the first grade teacher to the second grade teacher, because it's gonna be like that anyway. You know, because first of all, a lot of us, we got different skills, we got different talents. See, some brothers, they not good with going out and talking to other people that they don't know. So they can't bring as many people into the knowledge, right? But then if they meet a young guy, they able to show him a lot about how to have understanding. You understand what I'm saying? And then you got some people that they can go out there and they good with people. They can get people to come in the door, but then they don't really, like, once the person start to elevate, they like, yo, man, I gotta start learning from somebody else, because you know you don't have everything on cap. You just, the parts you got though, you good with that. So those is just the different natures, you know what I mean? But, you know, if it's one of them things where, yeah, if it's possible and you could go through it with one person, you know what I'm saying, so that he could actually tell you the whole background of the degrees, you know what I'm saying, and everything that's going on. So, like, for instance, when I'm dealing with the degrees, right, and when I got to the 1 to 40, that's how I first started noticing, like, wait a minute, how come the 1 to 14 says 15,019 years, and the 1 to 40 says 15,020 years? So then I was able to, you know what I'm saying, ask the brothers, but, you know, and then even with, you know, sometimes there's also a cipher that's there. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, you know, it's a group of brothers that y'all being together every day. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, when a young guy comes, this brother might not be there. He asked that brother. You know what I'm saying? And then just in general, you got to do that, because that's how we, you know, we got to come together. You know what I mean? We one mind. So, you know, just, you know, like I said, different brothers got expertise in all different things. So you know, for instance, like, say you talking about, you know, high level dietary law, I don't really know about that. Like me, I just eat my vegetables, I don't eat pig. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, all the different people that can tell you all the different seeds and everything that got to be done. You know, I'm not Close the door. There's people that can tell you all the way down to the cellular interactions that every food is gonna cause. You understand what I'm saying? Calling power set, isn't that kind of marrying another man's wisdom though? I mean, it could become like that. It could become like that. But see, you gotta remember, you know, you're not supposed to be learning for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talking about, 9 months. After 9 months, you starting to get a little long in the tooth. You know what I'm saying? I might have to start wondering if you're gonna make it, if you're not at least close to 120 by then. You know what I'm saying? Barring some, circumstance. You know what I'm saying? But even if you, was learning it word of mouth, 9 months is a long time. Just one said, every God gonna give you something different though. Some brothers have different approaches or different levels of understanding. But just one, see now, that's also where building in the cipher comes into play. You understand what I'm saying? Where, like in my time, yeah, you built with everybody because we was always in ciphers together. You understand what I mean? But now you coming in ciphers and different brothers might tell you something and you're not sure about it. Like you never heard that before. Maybe you're not up to that degree yet and the brother is speaking from that degree. You see what I mean? So now, what do? Do you just take this on face value? Like, so you need a brother that you could go back to and say, yo, the brother was saying this right here. You know what I'm saying? What's the science with that? And then the brother say, nah, yo, this is, you know what I mean? You need somebody like that, but, really all of these answers right here is right. You know what I'm saying? There's no one way or one path that God is walking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got a direction that we know we going towards a common cause, you understand what I'm saying, of righteousness. But I'm saying that we on all different paths getting there. You know what I'm saying? We taking all different modes of transportation. Some modes is faster than others. You understand what I'm saying? Some of us is getting there before others. You understand what I'm saying? Some of us is getting there with bumps and bruises. But it's not just one kind of way. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, see, Born Wise said, even if you have the complete 120 on paper, it doesn't mean one has 120. Yeah, nah. And to me, you don't have 120 at all. When I say if you got it, I mean on a cat. I mean, if that's the case, I got the dictionary. But I don't know all the words in it. Yeah, I can't really tell you. Like if a person asks me to use the dictionary right here on the spot, from what I know of it, to activate in life, nah, you don't know it like that. But there's all different levels, so you know it, right? This is how you know 120 when you got it on paper. You know it. Like if you show a 5-year-old kid a card outside, he know it's a card and he know it drive, but he don't know how to drive it. He don't know where to get the gas from. He don't know where the keys is at. That's what having 120 is like on paper. Yeah, you know what it look like, but you know. part of being qualified as a member in this nation is who your educator is. I mean, yeah, you know, because that always is something that's real funny. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we ran into a brother the other day that was saying, yo, he don't have, you know, nobody, he don't have no type of educator at night. Nobody taught him. It's like, if nobody taught you, right, then how you know us? Like, what's the, like, you just picked up the lessons one day. Like, how you know, look, somebody had to at least make this thing interesting to you. Just like the brother just came on and spoke about the book, Anacalypsis, right? Now he got me sparked up to read the book. Somebody had to do that, man. The brother taught me about that book. You know, I don't know if it's an ego thing with some people or whatever it is, but that's real crazy, man. You know. Plus, you know, back in you know, when I was coming up, we gotta know you, man. Like, we gotta know you, who you be around. Like, look, you know how when, like, they talk about snitching, they say drop a dime. We used to drop a quarter. See, the dime, that was a little before my time really making calls like that. You see, yeah, back in the days, person come around making calls. Where you say you from? Like, see his brother say you from Jamaica, Queens? Yeah, call out to Jamaica, Queens, man, see if your brothers know you. Yeah, infinite mind say your tree. I know I trace your tree back to Allah. Born wise hit something. Even if you can quote 120 back and forth, doesn't mean you understand what you have. Word is life. Born wise said essentially the original man is self-educated. You know, in the end, one only learns what one's teaches self. You understand what I mean? And not, it doesn't mean that what I just said doesn't apply. You know what I'm saying? But a person could listen and don't heed. You understand what I'm saying? That's why when you look at the knowledge born degree, right? The degree part tells you about the teacher's duty. But the Bible verses tell you about the student's duty. You see what I'm saying? Because like how they say, you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So in the end, you can't be responsible for the said person. You see what I'm saying? You've already dealt with all that above. Now, whatever he get into below, right? Whatever he get into below, with the rain, hail, snow, and also thunder above his head, right? Whatever he get into below, down there, that's on him. Why? Because he ain't trying to let the 5% teach him who was causing all this to happen. I was responsible for what was above by telling him, by giving him the knowledge. But that was my responsibility. Now, once that's done, and you don't take heed, after I said into the wicked to save his life, That's on you. Just one says, do you go through plus degrees with your students when they knowledge 120, or do you just encourage them to dig deeper into books? I'm not big on plus degrees. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is this about plus degrees. That's the good thing, is that plus degrees break down things, right? For people who, like, see, you know, you got a brother on here that said he got a degree in African studies. This brother right here, Al-Kim Salam, he's clearly done a lot of studying. You know what I mean? For some people that's not necessarily their nature to do that kind of studying, right? Not saying they don't want, but that, you know, to read all those books, do that type of research. See, the plus degrees is a way for them to still get that information. You understand what I'm saying? And for people that, you know, is in different situations, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, some people don't really deal with them at all. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely, you know, as long as you understand that, you know, it's just a few keys that may not be included in the lessons. You understand what I mean? As long as you don't get caught up thinking that these plus degrees is the understanding of everything in life. You know what I'm saying? As long as you understand that those plus degrees still need supreme mathematics applied to them so they can mean something. You know what I mean? But in terms of, you know, a lot of people, that was their beginning. Like, see the brother Al-Kim Salam, right? He might just write a plus degree just dealing with the Dravidian tribe and what do you say, the Yavadis tribe. He might just write a plus degree just on that, right? And that'll be pertaining to the understanding degree in the 1 and 14, right? But now at the same time, that might spark the person who reads the plus degree to now go into more research. You know what I mean? A lot of brothers that became well read with a lot of books, they started from knowing the depth of different topics through plus degrees. Blandley Snotty said, truth told, a lot of people got sparked from rap music and leaned toward the NOI thinking it had the magnetic, only to find that it didn't, so they been free floating ever since. Yeah, you got, see, you know, that's cause and effect though. You know what I'm saying? You know, in terms of people being affected by the knowledge out there, you know what I'm saying? But they just hearing it. They just heard the word, right? And nobody's been able to make the word flesh for them yet. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody's been able to show that the word is life. You know what I'm saying? They haven't been able to make it real. You understand what I'm saying? Like, see, the people, you know, that's where Jesus, you know, to use the analogy, right? That's why Jesus had became flesh, because you see, like, a lot of the people, that even the people who was his disciples, they faith wasn't that strong when he met them. You see what I'm saying? But he did different things to show them that it was real. You see what I'm saying? Like when he gave them the fish and all of that, and what they call it, the trend something, where he flew up in the air or something, or whatever they said. You know what I'm saying? All these things was making it real. So by the same token, you know what I'm saying, when people out there, they hear the word, I mean, it's kind of, you know, I mean, you don't want brothers to get on there and just speak ignorant. But time and space, man. Born Wise said the plus degrees are like how some add on to make their own knowledge born, or how they see the actual degree. Yeah, people write their own plus degrees. You say there are some Allah gave but never laid eyes on them. Yeah, now see, that's something that happened with those. Is that when those first lessons came out, you know what I'm saying? When brothers first started having plus degrees, they was getting too caught up in it. You understand what I'm saying? And that was one of the lessons that he told them, is that, listen, you got to analyze those with your mind, man. You understand what I'm saying? You can't don't just take everything on it. You know what I mean? Don't forget that I taught you the supreme mathematics and alphabet, and you got to use that to break down everything. Don't it's nothing outside the realm of reality, unless it's not real. I mean, so if it's nothing outside the realm of reality, why wouldn't we be using the blueprint of reality, right, to break it down and see what it means? How do I see magnetism versus addiction? What do you mean? Like, magnetism is being attracted to something. Addiction is being caught up in something. Hypnosis. I mean, that's a the brain, right, is probably the hardest part of the body to manipulate. I can't really, like, you could say the heart, but see, I could run fast and make my heart beat faster. You understand what I'm saying? The brain is probably the only part of the body you can't control. You understand what I'm saying? So those sciences like hypnosis and all of those are different sciences, man, that help you, or somebody who know the science of that, control the brain. You know what I mean? I ain't talking about the TV hypnosis, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about different sciences of meditation and all of that. You understand what I mean? Because the brain, thoughts travel in the brain, the synapses and all of that. You understand what I mean? So controlling the thought to one focus, on one thing, whatever it is, if you're just looking at something or you focusing on a word or whatever the case may be, being able to focus, that's an exercise for the brain. You see what I'm saying? So, hypnosis per se, to say I'm into that, nah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm saying you got to exercise your brain. You understand what I mean? Just like learning itself exercises the brain. You know what I'm saying? Just like anybody that study their lessons, right? It was easier to learn the Wisdom, Build, or Destroy degree in the 140 than it was to learn the Culture degree in the 114. Not because the Wisdom, Build, Destroy degree is longer, but it's because you've worked your brain out now. Your brain is exercised on these. You didn't pass the Culture degree in the 114. You done passed the born degree in 1 and 14. You done passed the build degree in 1 and 40. So by the time you get to that wisdom build degree, it's like, psh, this is what I do. You understand what I'm saying? Because you've exercised up your brain. Born Wise said that's about how much useful land one regulates. Heard that. Word is life. Bell and Snotty said, I thought when people start treating plush lessons like actual lessons, that was marrying another man's wisdom. I mean, see, through knowledge, Bell and Snotty, you know, each one teach one. We learn from each other, but see, like I said, man, draw everything up. Go research it yourself and make that your knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? Because see, don't, look, I'm not the Honorable Darkim Be Allah. You understand what I mean? Where you go outside and you say, yeah, the Honorable Darkim Be Allah teaches us. So you don't marry another man's wisdom like that, where every time I hear your mouth open, you saying his name and what he gave from you. You understand what I'm saying? But just that you got introduced from some information, right? That's just a seed planted that grew, the understanding grew in your mind. You understand what I mean? But like you said, if you get to the point where you taking it too seriously, you see what I mean? And you married to another man's wisdom, man, where, you can't be separated. You can't manifest your point of view without saying what that man said. All right, he said that. We heard that. Now, what you say about that? You see what I'm saying? Because that's the said person too. That you always telling me what somebody else said. And never what you say. There is definitely a pedagogical method to learning 120 lessons one at a time. That's why we don't assign it like a book you need to read. That's one of them big words right there, pedagogical. I hear that being used a lot in the, amongst righteous people. I'm not exactly sure what it means. I just know that's the scholars, the brothers that deal with the scholarship. They on their pedagogy. Process says, I see today addiction is a huge component of the cultures in the wilderness of North America, but it starts with some degree of magnetism. What do you mean by that? Start with some degree of magnetism. An addiction to what? Infinite Mind says each lesson has infinite degrees of lessons starting from its vocabulary, breaking down each word to dissect it to its microcosmic form. Shades Michael says, what books you recommend that coexist with the lesson? Well, I don't know if you missed it, but the new book that I'm on right now is the Anacalypsis. The Anacalypsis. That's a new book I'm about to read. The brother Al Kim, he said that it's about the tribe of original people that moved from Africa into India, and about the tribe from within that tribe that was exiled 16,000 years ago. So that's one book right there. And what was the other book that y'all said was compiled? The book that was compiled by Van Sertima and Renoku. I wanted to check that one too. And I was also saying, it's only a small, like, it's like a half a paragraph, but it's a book called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, where they speak about John Harding Hawkins in that book. But in general, the whole book is very informative. But I'm just saying that as a young 5%er, when I saw that, because it's like that was one of the things that I'm looking for. I'm like, yo. Pedagogy is the science and art of teaching. Yeah, right. See, now, Born Wise, that's what happened. Is that you have people that go off track of 120, right? Because, see, what happens is they get into them plus lessons, right? And then you can manifest on all these topics, right? You start thinking that, you have power because people are, you come in the cipher and people showing you respect because it's like, whoa, he know all of that. But then, like you said, you lost the focus of the actual lessons, you know what I'm saying, and really being able to break things down. So, yeah, you end up just being a lip professor. You know what I mean? And then what happened is, if you ever run into somebody that knows about the topic in that degree and they ask you a question, you stuck. Yeah, African presence in early Asia. African presence in early Asia, Shades Michaels. What about black roots? We also was talking about blacks in science. We also was talking about blacks in science from Ivan Van Sertima. Really, Ivan Van Sertima. I like Ivan Van Sertima because that's Sheikh Anta Diop just won. Oh man, how can I leave out the Sheikh? That's my guy too. That's my guy too, man. See, Sheikh Anta Diop and Van Sertima. That's kind of like they theme of everything that they write is kind of showing how everything has its origin with the original man. You know what I'm saying? Different sciences, different inventions and all of that. So, in terms of origins of, within the original people. And this right here, Infinite Mind, did you catch this one? Wonderful Ethiopians of the Ancient Kushite Empire by Drusilla Houston. So Shades Michael, you read the how Africa underdeveloped, how Europe underdeveloped Africa before? Yeah, Prehistoric Nations, I read that one. Yep, John Henry Clark, Chancellor Williams. Yeah, J.A. Rogers. Where can you get J.A. Rogers books now? Because I know for a while, man, they was super duper hard to get, man. And nobody would loan you their copy. Addiction starts with attraction. Guys can reach this generation of youth by applying mathematics to this current I mean, I see what you're saying. That you kind of just what I was just saying. You gotta be able to make the word flesh. You gotta be able to make the word flesh. Like you gotta be able to show people something that's real. You know what I'm saying? Because anytime, you talking a good game, you know what I'm saying, and things is going different, man, people stop believing. People have it's easy for people to stop believing. Like, where's the story? I think it's Job, where, he was supposed to be all pious, but it was that he was rich or whatever. So then when God started putting him through suffering, then, eventually he cursed God or something. I don't know that story as well as I should, but
it's 1 o'clock.
That's when people is easily become dissatisfied and stray away. So yeah, you got to be able to produce some magnetism to bring the kids to you. You understand what I'm saying? And you're not dealing with times, like, see, even historically, right? A lot of movements rose in the 30s, right? Including the NOI. And one of the things about that, right, was that one of the things about that was that it was the Great Depression. So yeah, people were looking for answers. You understand what I'm saying? And one of the things that started driving all the religious movements down is that after post-World War II, and you start getting all this prosperity, people ain't going to be sitting around going to church praying for this money when they could go to college and worship the religion of science, how they say, and get the money that they thought they was going to get when they was in church praying. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, you're going to have to be able to produce, you understand what I mean? If you saying that, you the cream of the planet Earth, the father of civilization. You understand what I'm saying? So, you right in terms of that. You know what I mean? Especially, we don't understand that they continue to teach daily. That they coming out, they've improved the things that they use to attract the minds of kids from the time, you know what I'm saying, from 10 years ago, they've improved it. But it's the same with grown people right now. Where when you walking down the street, right, and you see all those grown people on their phone like that, in order for you to tell them something, you gotta attract them. Even if you just gotta call it, hey, yo, car's coming, watch out for traffic. You understand what I'm saying? But even to tell them something that's good for them, they like this, looking down at the phone. They got the things in their ear, they can't hear what's going on around them. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's a part of manifesting the truth. I done fell behind here. Yeah, they came before Columbus. That's Ivan Van Sertima. Yeah, Sheikh Anta Diop broke down the skeleton structures. Ivan Van Sertima, he did something like that too, like all the structures in the body. What's name I? Naeem I. Oh yeah, the cat. I don't know. Whoa. I don't know what's going on with the cat, man. A whole lot of lectures online with all three of those master authors and scholars discussing their work in detail. Yeah, I check out a lot of John Heinrich Clarke lectures. I seen like one or two from Ivan Van Sertima. I never saw a Sheikh Anta Diop one. Process says Medu Netter is the truth. What? Job never cursed God. That was the bet the devil made with God according to scripture. Yeah, that's something I never. Yeah, see, that was the thing about that story I never understood. See, like, when you read stuff like the Bible, right? You doing all that analogy. I mean, all that allegory, and there's many levels to understand it. But if you just take it on just the first level, right? What are you doing making a deal with the devil about me, man? Where I'm going. Hey, what kind of God are you, man? You making a deal with the devil that I'm gonna have to suffer so y'all could prove a what? I never understood that. Like they have meetings together and all of that. I never understood that part of the Bible. At least on that service level. Born King. God Cipher Devra said, I knowledge scripture. That's part of your background? We use Jehovah's Witness or something? God Cipher Divine? Shades Michael says, was Dr. York God in his own way, the way he taught in Brooklyn? I mean, he was definitely God of his people. You know what I mean? I haven't really gotten into the intricacies of everything surrounding that and how much is true and how much is false. A lot of that stuff seem unrighteous, man. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know that it's true. You know what I mean? Because I didn't follow them when they was around. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't look at no evidence from the case. I don't have no particular knowledge of nothing. But if that stuff was going on, he's the devil. Naeem Akbar. See, I check him out. Yeah, see, I'm gonna tell you about. See, but it's not just Egyptology per se. You understand what I mean? It's even. See, it's like I was saying with. You gotta realize the sun and moon is not in the same position as it was in the time of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Just like certain things that's in Egypt, right, is dealing with, because they was lining up they buildings and a lot of things they was doing with the sun, moon, and stars. You understand what I mean? But the sun, moon, and stars is not in the same position. You know what I mean? Like somebody was bringing up the astrology the other day. You understand what I mean? Even within Egypt itself, right? Existed for so many thousands of years that the astrological sign changed. You know what I mean? The position of the sun, moon, and stars changed within the time of the Egyptian, the whole time of Egypt. You see what I'm saying? So then you see them putting different signs and different symbols based upon what they observing. You see what I'm saying? And now we in a different time. So you can't apply everything straight up what for what. Not saying that, I'm just saying knowledge is infinite. Not saying that they wrong about the stuff they did in their time. I'm saying that knowledge is infinite. And the same stuff they was made of to come up with that, we made of the same stuff. So we got to come up with that in our time. When you look at the pyramids, we see the perfect ones, the great ones, but there's other ones that you can see they had to deal with trial and error to get it like that. And we had to deal with trial and error in our time, and we can't always just go back and think we can apply something what for what. Born Wise says, when we add on regarding useful land, I find much value in the ability of one to interact in the social order of relationships as it relates to our black women and child. Well, yeah, I mean, that's your useful land. Absolutely. 23 million square miles. It's the women and the babies. I mean, Infinite Mind, whatever books, see all this, see that's why the brother, he, dealing with Egyptology and all, look, all this stuff is connected. There's no monopoly on the truth. You understand what I'm saying? Like everybody who's ever been burned by fire has that knowledge. Like there ain't no one group of people over there that know that fire is hot. Whether they met each other before or not. You understand what I'm saying? So, whatever books you put up there, some of these things is connected. Not some of it, all of it is connected. Oh, the Hebrew Israelite. Oh yeah, I quote. Woo! Y'all read that Bible seriously, man. Yeah, you can't tell no Hebrew Israelite nothing about the Bible. Period. Not as far as quoting it. Ra Nefer Amen. What is his book about? Yeah, that story, Blayland. Blayland Snotty said in that story, God recommended Job for Satan to test because Satan said he could find anybody to torment. Yeah, there's some stuff in the Dr. York books about aliens. They talking about the Dr. York books. See, now listen, it could be science or whatever. I'm not saying, but look, once you start talking about salvation being way in outer space somewhere, and it's like light years away of time, then nah, man, I might as well believe in Christianity. I don't like that kind of concept. You understand what I mean? Stuff out there happens because stuff happens in here, not the other way around. Yeah, Al-Kim Salam said, yeah, you don't want to be trying to apply all that knowledge out of season. Like, you got to look at the past and see the lessons. Like, you got to draw up the lessons of certain things. You understand what I mean? But it's like, look, for instance, we got knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So you could go and deal with the story, right, of, I don't want to use the Greek names. What's the names? Is it Asar and you could look at that story, right? But that story is about knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. In all the different ways, you know what I'm saying, that they interact with each other. It's about man, woman, and child. So you could go look at it, and yeah, there may be a perspective in there that might be unique to you. But I'm just saying that understand that that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that whatever science, that whatever people came up in the past, you still going to have to start from scratch right now. Like a lot of that, how I look at a lot of things in the past is like, that's it gives you a goal. It lets you know the possibilities. You know what I'm saying? Like you see the pyramid, you say, oh man, the original people built that? You understand what I'm saying? So it could be, for lessons learned, you know what I mean, for, inspiration. But to really try to just strip everything out from there and apply it now, I don't think that's a good idea. I gotta stop running my mouth, man. I'm falling behind in the comments here, man. Godbody Divine said, you ever open a York book, he copies and pastes a bunch of Zachariah Sitchin works. That's a good question. God Cipher Divine, what's the best part that you've gotten from whatever you study from Dr. York? The God Peace. Ron Nefer book is about the Ankh. Universal, peace to the God. Ron Nefer book is about the Ankh. What about it? Because I mean, that's the same kind of thing, right? It's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But they use a particular symbol in that time. You understand what I mean? It's just like, look, you know, the sword is an emblem of justice, and it was used by the original man at that time, right? Now look, right now, you know what I'm saying? That if you want to scare somebody and tell them don't come over here, you know, they got weapons a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So you might use that as a symbol to let them know, don't cause no trouble with us. You understand what I'm saying? People today might look at that and be like, well, you know, I got one of those other new kind of weapons, right? Since you want to play with swords. God Cipher Divine said, Dr. You're taught that the black man is God. God Body Mathematics said he taught that the predator was real. And listen, yeah, thanks for that, Cortland Powell. That correction right there. Asar, Arset, and Heru. You know, still knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, but they have a certain way of manifesting that. You know what I mean? Just like when I use certain examples, I use examples that we all know right now. That story is expressed in a mindset, in a worldview that they all knew at that time. And if you don't see, that's another thing. You got to get into the whole study of it. Like that brother, what's his name? I see him on around the way, but he's all the way in that. Like you can't try to pick out the magical thing. Like yo, the Ankh is it's a symbol of this, and you could use it for that. But you got to study all of it. It's not like you can't just say, right? You're gonna look at 120 lessons, right? And you can say, all right, look, I just want to deal with the knowledge of green in 140. That's it. I just want to predict history. I don't want to deal with the knowledge degree in 1 to 14. My word ain't gonna be bond. But I want to be able to predict history so I could pick the lotto numbers. Nah, you can't do that. You gotta learn the whole science and see the whole way of you thinking this is how you get lotto numbers. Yeah, see you coming at it the whole wrong way and you bringing your misunderstanding to it, and then you gonna just you gonna it's gonna be worse than if you just didn't know. Oh, the Metu Netter is his book. Yeah, I know about that book. He talks about the order required to tune into your divinity. I mean, we kind of got an order, you know. I'm pretty sure his coincides with ours. What's my understanding of the 23 scientists? "23 chromosomes. See, those 23 scientists, you know, I say 23 chromosomes because that's man himself. Like all the stuff, whatever's been happening on the planet, that's just man himself. Then Yakub is the 24th scientist. We supposed to be the 25th scientist. You understand what I'm saying? But those 23 chromosomes is where the history of man is recorded. Like how they go and read a person's DNA and they can tell thousands of years back in your history. You understand what I'm saying? And those is all those different things that they said was done. So you make the 23 scientists, right? With the 23 million square miles of useful land, got 46. God Cipher Divine said the best part from York was the black man is God. Process says cosmology. What's cosmology? What's that referring to? Yeah, see this kind of stuff. He taught the Predator was a real alien from the Andromeda Galaxy. I don't know, man. He teach what he teach. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Infinite Mind is something that, you know, a lot of these theories and you know, ends up becoming religious dogma, man. Like it's people that if you could tell them almost anything, and you could say, yo, before the white man came to Africa, the black man used to be able to twist his head off and just sit it down like that right there, and just, you know, fix his head, and then just, because that's how pure we was, because we was vegan, and people believe that, man, and really, you know, try to follow it and argue people down, like, yo, some of the spookism, you know, is still in the you know, when people get knowledge, man, all of that hasn't left them. Yeah, see, God Cipher Divine, I'm gonna tell you something. You either gonna be a high scholar or you gonna confuse yourself, man. You got the holy tablets. You studying the Bible with the Hebrew Israelites. You got 120 lessons. Now see, you're the person that Infinite Mind is talking to. That you need to just pick one, bro. You need to pick one, man. You got too many. You informed from too many different knowledge and wisdom, man. Because see, then that's what you do. You trying to mix them all together and mix the magical parts of this with the magical parts of that. And it don't work like that, man. That was Al Kim. You still in the room? What's the author of that book again? The what is it? See, I keep messing it up because it sounds like apocalypse. Godfrey Higgins. That's the title of it. I mean, that's the author. Nah, but I'm saying, yeah. Anna collapses. Anacalypsis. Nah, God Cipher Divine, it's look. You see, they see you on the board with us right now, right? And you talking about all these different things. What I'm saying is that this is your mindset is informed from a whole bunch of different positions. It's like, look, say if something happened, right, and you wasn't there, right? God Cipher Divine. Say something happened and you wasn't there, right? And then you got this person over here, they telling you this. And you got this person over there, they telling you this, right? And they both telling you, yo, look, I need you to go over there and do something about that. But then this person is telling you something totally different. So now when you get over there and now you get a third story, people are like, nah, that's not what happened. Now somebody asks you, okay, yo, what happened over there? And you got all these different stories in your head, but then you don't got the complete one of any of them. Like you a jack of all these different sciences, but you ain't really master one, at least from what I can see right now. Oh man, come on, man. How you gonna steal my thunder, Infinite Mind? I was just saying, Infinite Mind said, how you gonna steal my words right out my mouth, man? Infinite Mind said, it's like being a jack of all trades, master of none. You need a strong foundation to build on, and you can't get that when you're not grounded. Yeah. But that's what it is, man. Like you gotta, you know what I'm saying, just for that's why I look. When I say, look, do it fast. If you do a degree a day, you're talking about 4 months. Get the lessons down pat. Just get the lessons down pat for what they mean. You know what I mean? There's some things that's what you call prerequisite. You know what I'm saying? When you know what I'm saying? Like when you gotta have this topic right here in order to be able to understand that topic. You see what I mean? You gotta pick down, you gotta pick one thing, right? Like see me, I got one thing, supreme mathematics, right? Now everything else that I encounter is measured with supreme mathematics. You understand what I'm saying? So if I encounter a science and it don't coincide with supreme mathematics, I throw that away. You understand what I mean? Instead of trying to mix all of them together. You know what I mean? You trying to take a chapter from over here that's written in Sanskrit, right? With a chapter from over here that's written in hieroglyphics, with a chapter from over here that's written in cuneiform, with a chapter from over here that's written in whatever Mayan speak. You understand what I'm saying? And it ain't gonna make sense. At least not to the people that you building with. It might make sense all in your head, but to us, it's like, yo, you all over the place. Yeah, you can come to class. The class is on Tuesdays. Tuesdays at get there like 6:37. You know me, I'm not too strong with my clock signs. But that's what'll help you out a lot, man. If you know what I'm saying, if you just pick one thing that you're dealing with, you know, master that, and then deal with the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that, you can't use your background of knowing certain things. Like, yeah, we all, we teach you supreme knowledge of self. Like, you already knew how to tie your shoe. You already knew, certain things when you came into the knowledge. So you could use all of that as keys to help you break down 120. To help you break down everything in life, you know what I'm saying? Whatever your experiences is, whatever your research and your experience is, of course you got to utilize that. I need to write that down, man. I gotta start having a pen. I gotta start having a pen when I come on here to write some of these books down. But y'all, I'm about to take it down. I'm gonna be live tomorrow. I'm gonna go live again tomorrow. I'm gonna leave this one up, the whole thing, so people will come back to it. But I'm gonna be live on here tomorrow, man. Probably much earlier than this, man. Like I said, I gotta come with a regular time. Yeah, 793rd. Yeah, that's what happened. A lot of people, and like I said, because the truth is universal, right? A lot of people is goodwill. They don't mean nothing by it, but they just think in their mind that, yo, if I could just blend all the best parts of these things together without not seeing that, no, they don't necessarily mesh like that. You know what I'm saying? Gotta be rooted. Well, I'm gonna try to be on. It's gonna be in the afternoon tomorrow. Probably about in the midday, probably somewhere around 12 o'clock. But I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.